In today's session, I'm working with two students. Leah Moon is a basic math student that has just finished a guided practice, and she is ready to move on to the independent practice within that same learning objective. Eric Sean is a college algebra student that is beginning a new learning objective from the linear function strand, so he'll be working on his first guided practice. While I'm working with Eric one-on-one, Leah will be completing her independent assignment. Leah, you did an awesome job on this lesson. So now we're going to give you a challenge. And this next one is an independent work that you're going to do all by yourself. We're going to really test your skills to see how well you do with them. While you work on that, I'm going to head over and work with Eric on his next guided practice. Before I begin, are there any questions about this activity? It's the same as what you just did in that last guided practice all by yourself.
No, I think I'll be okay.
Okay, great. I'll be back to check on you in a minute. If you have any questions, use that chat space down below to ask me, okay?
Okay, thanks, Miss Ward.
Okay, Eric, we're going to move on to representations of relations. Now, I know this is a new lesson for you, so we're going to show you exactly what we're going to cover in this lesson to start with. Okay, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify what a domain and range are. You're going to represent a relation as a set of ordered pairs. And then you're also going to be able to represent a relation in tabular and graphical form. Now, I see we're still a little bit confused with some of the relations and with how to figure out these input and output values. So you know what I think I'm going to do, Eric? I have another lesson here that can help us with this type of thing that deals a lot with sequencing. So let's go ahead and I'm going to give us this other lesson that can kind of help us out. And we're going to see if some of this would be a little bit more familiar for you. Okay, so now I take 2 times 4 equals
8.
And there's my output value is 8. Okay, so here we got the input value is 1, that's my n, and once I figured out that multiplication, I get the number that falls into this table form. Okay, now what I would like you to do is I would like you to try and do the 3 by yourself over here on the side. Actually, let's go over to our scratch pad and let's work on this through our scratch pad. So go ahead and why don't you use your text tool and type in the answers for substituting, which number did I say, the 3?
3.
Okay. While Eric is working on this problem, I can click on Leah's classroom to monitor her progress and see how Leah is doing. Just by clicking on her name, I can actually correct her assignment as she is working, as I've done here with question number 3. Once finished correcting Leah's work, I can return back to Eric's screen.
Okay.
Excellent job. Now let's take a look at this example. Okay, we have 3 terms. I'm sorry, we have 4 terms listed here. What we want to do is we want to find the next 3 terms. Okay, this is going back up to the sequences. So I would like you to see if you can figure out the next 3 terms in that sequence. And you can use your scratch space if you'd like to. I'll erase the results from the last one. At this point in Eric's session, he is now showing some basic understanding of input and output values, but he continues to struggle with sequencing. So at this point, I can now make a note in his student binder so that an adjustment can be made to his prescription. By making notes here, this relays a message to the student's prescription monitor concerning a student's program. Here I'm entering the necessary notes in the academic quality field, detailing what information is being understood and what areas the student may find difficult. I will also make a note in the next section down, the curriculum fit, where suggestions here will be made for some basic review on sequence skills. And at this point in his session, what I would now do is utilize the scratch space as well as some of the graphing paper and maybe try to plot some of those input and output values that he was able to accomplish and understand. Eric, those coordinates look great on there. You seem to really start to understand the inputs and output values. I still see some signs that you're still a little bit confused with the sequences. So what I'm going to do is when we exit the session here, I'm going to make a note for your prescription monitor to give us some more lessons on sequencing so that in the next session you can work a little bit more on sequences.
Okay.
All right, so whenever you are ready, you can go ahead and exit out, and I hope you have a great evening tonight.
Thanks, Ms. Warren.
You're very welcome. Have a good night.